Hi, I've picked out some Mark Knopfler licks mainly from Dire Straits songs, and I've picked out several that I think really kind of show off his style, and just cool licks to try to learn if you're into his playing. So I'm just going to go through the first four that I've picked out. So the first one is from Six Blade Knife on the first Dire Straits album. Great song. So with these kind of chords, A minor, C, D. Kind of groove. I'll look at the whole song at some point, do a lesson on that and the solos. But for now I'm just doing this one lick. It goes like this. Now you might have noticed there the last three notes were pretty quiet, and this whole song is a brilliant example of how to use dynamics. Mark Knopfler all the way through is playing very, very quiet notes that you can barely hear, and then other notes that really pop out, sort of jump out of the speakers. And this lick does that a little bit, that some of the notes are quite loud, and then there's three at the end, you can barely hear them. I'll do it once more. Okay, so we're using the A Dorian really, or A pentatonic minor with a couple of extra notes, but it's Dorian because of the D chord being major, not minor. If you don't know what that means, then don't worry about it for now. We'll look at it on a separate lesson. So we're in fifth position here. And we start off with a pre-bend, and it's a 7 on the first string, which is a B, but you're bending it to sound like a C. So you're making this note sound like that. Pre-bend, if you don't already know, is where you bend without playing. So you've got to judge how far to push the string up, and then you pick the note so that all you hear is it come down, you don't hear it go up. Normally with a bend you'd go up and down, or sometimes just up. This pre-bend is where all you hear is the note descending like this. So you might want to practice getting the right pitch. And you let it down. And then there's a 5 on the first string, 8 on the second string, 5 on the first string. And then you bend the 8 on the second string up a full tone, so it's making this note, which is a G, sound like an A. And then you play the A here afterwards, 5 on the first string. Then play an 8 on the first string. And then a 7 on the second string. If you're very familiar with pentatonic patterns and blues scales and things, that last note is the one that seems a bit strange because it's not really in the pentatonic pattern. But it's because there's a D chord at that point, so you hit some note that's in the chord. So I'll just play the whole lick slowly up to that point. And on the end of that, play 5 on the third string, slide to 4, play a 7 on the fourth string. They're very faint, probably with your thumb. So the whole lick again once more. Number 2 is from the Alchemy live version of Tunnel of Love. If you're a Dire Straits fan, you'll know this. Amazing solo. I have transcribed the whole solo, and I plan to do a lesson on the whole Alchemy live Tunnel of Love solo at some point soon. But this is just one lick from it. You'll recognise it if you know this version of the song. So what's happening is we're in the C sort of position, 8th position. Start on the C note, which is 10th fret on the 4th string. And you've got to play that note and do a pull off to a 9 and then another pull off to an 8. So it's like a double pull off. So you only pick the string once. 3 fingers all on at the beginning. Like that, really slowly. And then we play another note from the C chord, which is a 9 on the 3rd string. Second string almost mirrors what we did on the 4th string. We play 10, pick the 9 but pull off to an 8. Play the 9 again, hammer onto a 10. and we've got to come across to a 10 on the 3rd string. I'd use my 3rd finger like that, kind of roll across. Not sure what he did on the original. He maybe went, could have done it, or like I am. So that last part was, or. So I put it all together really slowly. Up to speed. Number 3 on my list, these aren't in any particular order by the way. This is from Down to the Waterline, so it's the first song on the first album. And this is from the first solo, so there's kind of an intro bit of lead. I've looked at all of these on separate lessons. This is from the first solo, the first kind of main solo. You'll recognise this if you know the song. So it's in the key of B minor, and it's over a B minor chord. It goes like this. Okay, so I'm just going to play this one really slowly. Now that open string that you heard me play there, that wasn't a mistake, that is in there. Where I've transcribed this on my music cue, I've actually put that as a note that's in brackets, that open string, because he probably didn't do it on purpose, it just sort of fills a gap in the run. If you tried to do it without the open string, it wouldn't flow. Okay, so what's happening here in the 7th position, B minor kind of position, start off with a standard bluesy phrase, which is bend on the 9, 3rd string, up to an 11, then play 7 on the 2nd string, 7 on the 1st by kind of rolling your finger across, like that. Now when you're playing Mark Knopfler style with this hand, not using a pick, it's quite easy to get that bend to stop before you hit the next note, because you can just land your thumb on it. That's a little bit harder with a pick, but you can do it with a pick. So it's bend, 7, 7 on the 1st string, 10 on the 2nd string, pull off to 7, 3rd string 9, 2nd string 7, 3rd string 9, pull off to 7 on the same string. So we've got then 9 on the 4th string, then the open 3rd string, that's that note I was talking about, and then a little blues scale run here, which is 5th string 7, hammer on to 8, hammer on to 9, just one pick, jump down to 7 on the 3rd string, 9 on the 4th, and almost like an afterthought there's a 7 on the 3rd string which then slides down. So it's like an afterthought, it just comes a little bit after the main run. I'll do the whole thing a little bit slower than it actually goes. Now up to speed. Last one's probably the most well-known one. This is from Sultans of Swing. I really like this. I mean, I love the whole of the first solo in Sultans of Swing and the whole of the second solo. This is from the first solo. So I love all of the lead in that song. I mean, everyone does, don't they? Anyway, this is from the first solo. You'll recognise it. Now it's over a C to a D minor. Just before it goes. It's just at the end of the first solo. Play it again slowly. That's really nice. Probably the simplest one out of these 4, but it's so nice. The way it fits with the chords, the way it takes you from a C to a D minor is just brilliant. Okay, so we're in 5th position. A lot of his playing is in the key of D minor, you might have noticed. This song's in the key of D minor, And a lot of the playing that he does in the key of D minor is in 5th position, rather than where most people play, which would be 10th. He does a lot of D minor stuff here. There's a D minor scale here. There's pentatonic and blues scales and things all there in the key of D, all coming from this D here. Anyway, that's the position we're in. So we start off 5th fret, 4th string, 1st finger. Same fret on the 3rd string. Now I'm just going to roll my finger down like that. So rather than hopping across like that, I just like that. It's easier. 3rd string 7, then 5. Play the 7 again, but bend it up to a 9. By that I mean that sounds like a 9. Bend. Hold it there, so keep that ringing. And then whilst it's ringing, you play an 8 on the 2nd string, and then you pick the 3rd string and let it come down to a 7 again, like this. And as that comes down, you then do a pull off to a 5. So it was 2 7s on the end, 3rd string, which is the D note at the point where it comes back to a D minor chord. Play that whole thing slowly. Up speed. Okay, so that's number 4. So there's my first 4 licks that I've picked out from Mark Knopfler's playing. There's a lot to choose from, and I've got some others as well. So I'm going to do another lesson video on this. I'll probably end up doing loads because there's so many cool licks. Everything he plays is good, isn't it? So I can just take any of these little phrases and they're all going to be good ones to learn. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I can provide tabs if you need them for this. If you just get in touch with me. Email mark@guitartutor.co.uk. And if you want to see specific lessons on things like this, then let me know in the comments. If you like this one, click like, and please subscribe unless you've already done so. Okay, thanks.